Well, good afternoon, Natasha. Yes, messages of condolences and, of course, tributes pouring in for Ahmed Kathrada, or Uncle Kathy, as many affectionately called him. And this room, earlier on I was even speaking to the chairperson of the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation, Derek Hanekom, about the aura that was in this room when messages and tributes were being poured out and anecdotes were being related here from the podium at the Nelson Mandela Foundation in this auditorium. There was a point where Zenani Mandela, who is the eldest daughter of Mamwini Matikizela Mandela and former President Nelson Mandela, was delivering a tribute, and she mentioned him and mentioned Ahmed Kathrada as my other father. She also ended that speech saying that may our prayers be heeded for this special son of the soil. And throughout this auditorium, every second person that she was looking at, that you would be looking at, was in tears because of that heartfelt condolence to the Kathrada family, as well as to speaking about his legacy. You look at the likes of George Bezos, who was also here and spoke about what a smart prisoner and what a smart accused person Ahmed Kathrada was back in the days when, during the Rivonia trial. He spoke to us early on as well during an interview, a short interview just before today's event officially kicked off. And he spoke about a moment where the prosecutors tried to go to him and went to Ahmed Kathrada and tried to strike a deal with him. And he made it clear that, listen, if you are trying to secure conviction of my fellow comrades through me, that will definitely not take place. George Bezos also saying earlier on that Kathrada was offered, Kathrada had an opportunity rather to appeal his case because the state's case at the time against him was very weak, and he had an opportunity which he would have been successful in making sure that he successfully appealed the case against him, or the conviction against him, and he decided no, he's not going to do that because he wants to be with his leaders, and that's where he ended up in Robben Island. And I guess that's where all the different plots were taking place in terms of how do we make sure that South Africa one day becomes a liberated country, and that's what we've experienced here today. Lunga from the Nelson Mandela Foundation, the spokesperson of the Nelson Mandela Foundation, in her opening remarks was so eloquent, and when she said that I stand before you as a young person who is enjoying the freedoms of this country, and I, as well as Aldrin St. Pierre, sitting in this auditorium, or standing in this auditorium, where you had the likes of Mamwini Matikizela Mandela as well, George Bezos, as I mentioned, we had Barbara Masikile as well, and Sophie de Bruyn. These people who played such a tremendous role in ensuring that South Africa attains its freedom, and you have that sense of, wow, this is really it. This is a depository of that history that has been taking place, and just listening to all these anecdotes, that it really tugs at the heart. And just a quick update for those people who'd like to go to the funeral that will be taking place tomorrow. Remember that the funeral will be taking place at 10 a.m. at the West Park Cemetery. I was speaking to Derek Hanekom, the chairperson of the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation, about how this will now play out, considering that President Jacob Zuma has declared that Ahmed Kathrada will be receiving a special official funeral. He says because of Muslim prayer rights and funeral rights, unfortunately, the special official funeral will not be possible. Remember, in the statement that the presidency released earlier on, also indicated that the Deputy President, Cyril Ramaphosa, will be leading that funeral service. However, Hanekom say, unfortunately, that will not be possible because of the short time that they have, that Kathrada will be buried at around just before midday at the West Park Cemetery, and government might have to resort to an official memorial, and will have to wait for an official date with regards to when that memorial will take place.
Thank you so much. Just giving us updates on no special provincial funeral due to the Muslim burial rights, but there may be an official memorial service for the late Ahmed Kathrada. That was Aldrin St. Pierre live from the Nelson Mandela Foundation, just bringing us up to speed with what people have been saying. And in Nzinga, so many people just talking about what a humble man he was, what a strong leader he was. And I think for our generation, I joked with Peter earlier about, sort of I'm the younger generation, he's the older generation, but he could speak of him, of actually knowing him. But for us, it's we have to learn about his legacy. We have to carry his legacy forward.
Definitely, Natasha. We will continue our coverage on Ahmed Kathrada and the tributes that are pouring in. For now, it's time for a break. We come back with more business news and Ahmed Kathrada.